Hello students, Wendy Ansley here, College of the Desert kinesiology professor. And I want to share with you a well-rounded sequence that touches on shoulder flexibility as well as awakening the deep muscles that protect our shoulders to promote shoulder stability. And so I tried to blend together kind of a well-rounded sequence that takes into account the beautiful, intricate shoulder girdle, okay, which is often it is the most mobile joint we have, but it's often an area of injuries. But as well as that, I want to share with you that sometimes we carry the weight of the world on our shoulders. The stress, depression, anxiety, we carry this on our shoulders, and with that, sometimes we come out of balance, our upper back, our chest, our whole body, our neck will come out of balance. So every once in a while I find a sequence, because this is healing, some of these exercises that we do, this is a therapy, it's a moving meditation on the mat. I find some exercises, some yoga postures that really take into account, stability and flexibility of this area. And so that is what we are working on today, and I look forward to sharing that with you. So the meaning behind our practice today and what we're truly going for. We'll start with a wide-legged child's pose with our big toes touching. And we're going to widen the knees, making room for our torso on the mat here. And we're going to take the palms, are about shoulder width apart. We're going to rest the forehead onto the ground as we send those hips back towards the heels, and as we press into the ground, we're creating length in the spine as we simply inhale and exhale through the nose, calming the mind. And we're going to walk the hands now over to the left, and we're still pressing into the ground. We're almost kind of drawing that right shoulder blade back and in just a little bit more as we walk the hands over to the left. We continue to inhale and exhale through the nose, creating length in the spine, releasing both shoulders here, drawing length, just simply calming the mind. And walking both hands now over to the right as we press through the palms. We kind of draw that left shoulder blade back and down just a little bit more here as we veer to the right. We continue to press the palms into the ground. Draw length in the spine, hips over the heels. With the breath in the posture, we're cognizant, we're aware of releasing some of the stress that is in our daily life that we might carry on our shoulders. You are not alone. We'll stay here several more breaths. Walk the hands forward again, and we're going to come into a beautiful tabletop here. So the hands are directly under the shoulders, the knees are under the hips. I like to kind of tuck my toes and press them into the ground here. And we'll do a little movement, a little dynamic movement of the spine. We're going to inhale, the chest comes forward, the shoulder blades come together, the tailbone comes out. Exhale, we press into the ground, we round the upper back, we feel the shoulder blades move away. Inhale, chest forward, shoulder blades come towards one another, tailbone out. Exhale, we press into the ground, draw the shoulder blades away. Continue, inhale, look up. Exhale, look down. Inhale, chest forward, shoulder blades come towards one another. Exhale, push into the ground, belly button to the spine. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round the back. Come to just a little neutral tabletop here. And we're going to start with that left arm like we're shaking a hand here, a little shoulder fluidity. We're going to send those hips back and do a few arm circles with that left arm. A few circles here. Beautiful. One more circle, just awakening the shoulder girdle. Let's take that left arm, abduct it to the side, and let's thread that left arm underneath, kind of releasing the left shoulder, resting the left ear to the ground. And it's here that I kind of shift my right hip, I try to square it a little bit, and I shift that right hip to the left a bit. Continue to inhale and exhale through the nose, releasing the left shoulder. Gently come back to tabletop. Let's do a few dynamic cat and cows here. Inhale, chest forward, tailbone out. Exhale, round the back, belly button to the spine, tailbone in. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round the back. Shoulder blades move away. Inhale, look up. Shoulder blades come together. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round the back. Come to our neutral tabletop. Beautiful. Taking the right hand like you're shaking the hand, a few fluidity arm circles. We're going to shift those hips back. Draw that right arm up. Shift those hips back. Draw that right arm up. Shift those hips back. Beautiful arm circles. Let's take that right arm high, abduct it to the side, and thread this right arm to the ground and rest that right ear to the ground, and kind of the left hand just presses into the ground as we try to shift that left hip over to the right a little bit and breathe into that release of the right shoulder. Beautiful. Gently release. Come back to tabletop here. Let's take the hands and let's turn them so the fingers face us here. And the hands touch one another. So the fingers face us and the hands touch one another. And I'm still kind of in a tabletop here. And I'm simply going to rock it forward and back. Forward and back. And I'm just kind of preparing my wrists for my practice here. Beautiful. Just rocking forward and back. Beautiful. And we're going to shake out those wrists a little bit. Shake it out. Beautiful. We're all connected, our whole body connected. Come back to tabletop. Walk the hands forward a few inches. We're going to lead with those hips as we come into a dynamic down dog here. Dynamic down dog. Beautiful. The hands are shoulder width apart, maybe a little wider, but if you're tight shoulders, and our fingers kind of rotate out just slightly. We press through the palms. The feet are hip width apart or a little bit wider, and we press again through the palms to draw length in the spine. And this is where we're connecting to the shoulders. We feel the shoulder blades come down the back ribs here, and we take the tailbone. Let's draw the tailbone back and down. Let's stay here in a static hold and firm those thighs. Breathe into those hamstrings. We'll stay here several breaths. And we'll walk the hands and the feet towards one another. We're going to inhale, halfway lift, gaze forward and down. Most of us, our hands are going to be on the shins or the thighs. Exhale, come into a dynamic forward fold. Let's heel and toe as we awaken, heel and toe. Into just a forward fold here where we come more to that midfoot. Breathe into those hamstrings. Gently bend the knees. Swan dive up. Open the chest. Open the heart. Exhale, heart-centered. Beautiful. Let's take a moment and set our intention for our practice. So as we fold our hands, heart-centered in Anjali Mudra, we talked about letting go of stress, how beautiful movements can kind of connect us, connect our entire body, and let go some of that. And we are working on our shoulders. We carry a lot of stress in our shoulders. I want you just to take a moment to lower your head to your fingertips. Just know that this is a sacred time with your breath and your efforts. Breathe into your body. Let go of some stress and tension for this practice today. Acknowledge this effort, this energy that you're bringing. Take a moment and set your own personal intention for our practice. Maybe there's a friend that needs some encouragement. Maybe you need some encouragement. Gently look up. Often when we let go of some of that stress, it's sometimes can be easier for us to be kinder to ourselves, to others. Let's start with a strap here and just come into a little bit of this shoulder work here. Shoulder mobility. We're going to take the strap a little wider than shoulder width apart. So if you don't have a strap, you can take a tie, you can take even a sweatshirt and just utilize this as a prop here. Beautiful. So it's a little wider than shoulder width apart. And we're starting in Tadasana. We awaken those arches, either hip width apart or the feet together. And we're going to take the strap and we're going to draw it back here. And when we do this here, I want you to feel the shoulder blades come together. We call this retraction. And now we draw the strap towards us and the shoulder blades move away. We call that protraction. So here we are, retraction, shoulder blades towards one another. And now the strap come towards us, protraction. This is healthy. This is part of our shoulder girdle where the scapula sits. It's important to kind of ignite, here we go, into this retraction. Exhale into this protraction. It's important to kind of ignite this feeling and these deep muscles. Here we go. Draw the shoulder blades towards one another. Move them away. One more time. Draw them towards one another. Move them away. Good. So those are the two areas of stabilization that we go in the scapula part of the shoulder, the back area of the shoulder. Connecting as we move on here, awakening the feet, awakening the arches. We root through the four corners of the feet. Tadasana, we spread those toes. Active legs. When we stand, next time we're in a grocery store, we stand like this. Inhale, root into the ground. Draw those arms up. Energy out the fingertips. Exhale, swan dive down. We're into a forward fold. If we have to slightly bend the knees and widen the feet, that's okay. Inhale, halfway lift, tailbone out and back, gaze forward and down. Framing the feet, we're going to step back into plank. Let's do a few scapula push-ups here. So on the inhale, the chest is going to come forward and you feel the shoulder blades come towards one another. On the exhale, let's exaggerate this doming, this rounding of the back. Still active legs and core. Inhale, chest comes forward. Shoulder blades come towards one another. Activate those back wing shoulder blades of scapula. Exhale, round the back. Feel the space between the shoulders. Inhale, chest collapses, shoulder blades move towards one another in retraction. Exhale, we dome the upper back, shoulders move away. And let's settle into just kind of a high plank where it's a kind of a combination between the two. Dome the upper back just slightly and engage the shoulder blades. We'll stay here several breaths. Gently lower to the knees. We're going to prepare here for puppy dog, releasing the shoulders. I like to tuck my toes. I walk the palms forward and I'm going to rest my forehead to the ground as I press into the palms and I'm drawing the shoulder blades down the back. This is shoulder therapy, Anahatasana. We'll stay here several breaths. Some of you may be able to get your chest and chin to the ground in this heart-melting pose. We'll stay here a while. Come out of the pose, lead with those hips, come back to tabletop. Beautiful. Walk those palms forward. Come into down dog pose and we'll bicycle those legs out. We're going to hold down dog here. Firm those thighs, press those thighs back and up. Tailbone back and down, all while keeping those shoulder blades down the back ribs. Inhale, exhale through the nose. Let that stress go. Transition as we walk it forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Gently bend the knees, swan dive up. Open the chest, open that heart. Exhale, heart centered. Let's do a cleansing breath between. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Inhale, exhale. Rooting through the four corners of the feet. Inhale, draw those arms up, energy out the fingertips. Exhale, swan dive down, come into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Gaze forward and down, tailbone out and back. Frame the feet. We're going to step back into this plank here. Heels over the balls of the feet. We're going to come into a little scapula push-up. So on the inhale, the chest comes forward, the shoulder blades towards one another. Exhale, we dome the upper back, space between the shoulders takes place. Inhale, we draw the chest forward, shoulder blades towards one another, just activating those deep muscles. Exhale, dome the upper back, push those shoulder blades away. Inhale, chest comes forward, shoulder blades come towards one another. Exhale, dome the upper back, push into the ground. Coming into this high plank, find kind of an activation between the two here. Engage the legs, engage the core, engage the shoulders. Gently lowering to the knees, we're going to come into puppy dog as we draw those palms forward. We're going to rest the forehead to the ground. Continue to press through those palms and draw the shoulder blades down the back ribs. Some of us may lower our chest and chin to the ground. Stay here several breaths. Transitioning to easy cobra here, we're going to draw those hands back by the sides here. Feet are hip width apart. We're pressing through the tops of the feet, and my shoulders are in line with my elbows. As I press in the tops of the feet, my knees are off the ground, quads off the ground, and I'm simply awakening my lower back. Stay here several breaths. Shoulder blades down the back ribs. Transitioning to all fours. Walk the palms forward a few inches. Lead with those hips. Come into down dog, Adho Mukha. Preparing for this transition, sometimes I like to bring my feet together on this transition. So my feet are touching, and I releve up and down dog, and I exhale, lower. Inhale, rise, releve up on the balls of my feet. Exhale, lower. Inhale, up on the balls of my feet. Exhale, lower. I'm going to lift that left leg to hip level. And I'm going to, on the exhale, draw my knee to my chest. Place the left foot next to the left hand. Lower that right knee to the ground. Drawing my palms forward, my thumb and index, I like to Kali Mudra, that's called. And sink lower into beautiful low lunge. So I'm breathing into my right hip. I'm breathing into the shoulders. I'm going to stay here in beautiful Anjaneyasana, low lunge a while. Gently release. Frame the foot. We're going to keep that right hand kind of down here. And we're going to come into a little twist and low lunge. So my right hand presses into the ground, and I'm drawing that right shoulder blade in as my shoulders are stacked over one another, and I'm in a low lunge with a twist. Gently release, frame the foot here. Connect to runner's pose. Back leg straight. Firm that left hip. Hands come to the ground. Transition to down dog. Feet are hip width apart. Feel those inner thighs spiral back. Tailbone back and down. Draw the feet together on this transition. We'll do a few heel pumps. We'll inhale, releve. Exhale, heels to the ground. Inhale, releve. Exhale, heel to the ground. Inhale, releve. Exhale, heel to the ground. Draw that right leg up to hip level. On the exhale, draw the knee to the chest and the nose. Place the right foot next to the right hand. Lower the left knee to the ground. We'll draw those palms together as we come up vertical and sink into beautiful low lunge. Breathe into that left hip. Draw the shoulder blades down the back ribs. Connect to the entire body as we press into the top of the back foot, drawing length in the spine. Beautiful. Connecting, lowering the hands. We're going to start as we press the left hand to the ground in a low lunge twist. So draw that left shoulder blade in. Right hand reaches towards the ceiling here. The shoulders are stacked over one another. Gently release. Runner's pose. Firm that right hip. Draw that left leg straight. Frame that foot, come back to down dog. Again, this is where, let's exaggerate. Heels almost towards the outer edges of the mat, just to feel those inner thighs spiraling back. So sometimes we exaggerate down dog, right? Feel that connection of the inner thighs spiraling back, but also I want you to take the tailbone back and down, all as we press through the palms, creating length in the spine. Inhale, exhale through the nose. Walk the hands and the feet towards one another. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Come more to that midfoot, sternum and chest close to the shins. Breathe into those hamstrings. Gently bend the knees. Inhale, swan dive up. Open the chest. Open the heart. Exhale, heart centered. Taking one of our yoga blocks. I like to warm up my legs a little bit more sometimes in Utkatasana, chair pose. In the ancient yoga, they would often do this pose to warm up the legs before we dive in deeper. So I take the block and I squeeze that between my thighs. When I squeeze the block, I feel those inner thighs kind of spiraling back, which is often a feeling we feel through a lot of our yoga practice. Squeeze the block, symbolize active legs, awakening the lower body. On the exhale, I'm going to bend my knees and prepare for Utkatasana. As I squeeze the blocks, I'm still drawing length in the spine. I'm gazing up, drawing the shoulder blades down the back ribs, creating length from the hips as I gaze up, but continue to squeeze the blocks, awakening the lower body here, the major muscles there. Tailbone goes towards the ground. Firing those legs. Continue to squeeze. Gently release. Utkatasana. Set the block down. Move it to the side here. Inhale, draw those arms up. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Either hands to the shins of the thighs or the ground if we can. Framing the feet, step back into plank. Either partial chaturanga to cobra, where you can lower to the knees, partial chaturanga, or chaturanga. We're going to keep those elbows close to my sides as I bend the elbows, draw the sternum forward, shoulders in line with those elbows. We'll hold here. On the inhale, up dog. Draw the pelvis forward. Press to the tops of the feet. Thighs off the ground. Shoulder blades back and down. Look up. Exhale, down dog. Lift that left leg to hip level. On the exhale, draw the left knee to the chest, to the nose. Place the left foot next to the left hand. Come into crescent moon. And this is where I want the left knee over the ankle. Front leg parallel to the ground. I come to the pinky toe just a little bit more of that back leg, and it slightly internally rotates. There's a beautiful connection here of the lower body, but yet drawing length in the spine and the tailbone going towards the ground. Beautiful crescent moon. Ashta Chandrasana. On the exhale, we're going to move to an open twist. This is where I open my arms here, extend those arms from the center of my chest towards my left. Good, and I'm either gazing forward, or I might make it more challenging and gaze at that left hand. Beautiful. Gently drawing that right hand under the shoulder, drawing that right shoulder in, and this is where I'm preparing for side plank. I'm pressing outer edge of that right foot. I'm going to try to lift that right hip. I can keep this kickstand like I have with my left foot. I'm working on shoulder stability and keep the kickstand, or I can transition it. So as I keep that stable right shoulder into the shoulder socket here, my shoulders are stacked over one another, and I'm lifting that right hip and pressing outer edge of that right foot. Vasitasana, side plank. Shoulder stability at the finest. Gently lower the left hand into plank here. Active legs, active core, active shoulders. Exhale, lead with those hips, down dog. Feet are hip width apart or wider. Press through those palms. Firm those thighs. Drawing that right leg to hip level. Drawing the right knee to the chest or to the nose. Come into beautiful crescent moon. Knee over the ankle. Front leg parallel to the ground. Come onto the pinky toe of the back leg. Crescent moon. Connect. Belly button to the spine. Tailbone towards the ground. Length in the torso, but active legs. To an open twist. This is where I extend those arms and I twist towards the right. Either gazing at the wall or gazing at that right hand. balance, strength. Left hand comes to the ground, and the left shoulder does not come forward. It's stacked inside. This beautiful humerus is stacked inside. I'm going to press outer edge of my left foot, and I begin to think about the side plank here. Beautiful. You can either keep that kickstand, or we can work on that transition where we lift that left hip. We press outer edge of the left foot, the shoulders stacked over one another. Beautiful Vasisthasana, side plank, shoulder stability. Inhale, exhale through the nose. Gently release. Come into the high plank. Active legs, shoulders, and core. Beautiful. Exhale, come into down dog. Press through the palms, dry length in the spine. Walk the hands and the feet towards one another. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. This time, clasp a hold of those elbows as you weigh yourself down in this beautiful forward fold, opening the hamstrings, opening the lower back. Come more to that midfoot. Allow the arms like a weight to just weigh you down. Gently bend the knees. Swan dive up. Open the chest. Open the heart. Exhale, heart centered. Beautiful. Take my sweatshirt off here. Really nice practice so far, you guys. Coming to the center of the mat, we'll just dive into, I'm going to straighten out my mat a little bit, dive into a standing posture to hold a little bit longer here. In Tadasana, active legs, root through the four corners of the feet. Hands by the chest, elbows up. Add a little hop here. Press outer edges of the feet, awaken those arches. 5-point star here. It's about one leg length difference. One leg length apart. We're going to turn your left foot here, and we're going to intersect. We're going to turn that back foot in about 15 degrees, intersect either heel to arch or heel to heel. Inhale, we draw length. Exhale, we reach forward. Most of us are going to keep the hand on the shin as we keep the shoulders stacked over one another. Some of us who've practiced a little bit longer or have the flexibility may be able to get the hand outside the foot, but we do not slump forward. Take the top ribs back, bottom ribs forward, fingers towards the ceiling. If your neck bothers you, you can gaze at the ground or gaze straight ahead. If not, gaze up. Breathe into this back hip. We'll stay here several breaths. Inhale, transition and rise, root and rise. Draw that left arm up, left hip up, and allow the right arm to drape down the back leg. Gently release. Face forward. Cleansing breath. Inhale. Exhale. Adjusting this right foot. Straight ahead, 90 degrees. Turn that back foot in 15 degrees. Draw length, arms out. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, reach towards that wall. Beautiful. Most of us keep the hands by the shins, keep the body in one plane, stacked over one another. Some of you may be able to come a little bit lower. Don't slump forward. Top ribs back, bottom ribs forward. Breathe into this back hip. Either gaze if your neck bothers you at the ground, or if you can, or straight ahead, or if you can, gaze straight up. Continue the breath cycle. Inhale and rise. Right arm brushes the ceiling. Right hip up. Left arm down the back leg. Gently release. Prasarita stance here. Take the left arm, connecting to the shoulders here. And if you can, clasp above the elbow. Take the left hand, if you can, to the right elbow, or just do the best that you can, touching those elbows, but draw the shoulder blades down the back ribs. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, come forward. So we're connecting to the shoulders, the hamstrings, the inner groin. Inhale, back flat, belly button to the spine, rise. Shake it out. Take that right arm, kind of thread that thumb towards you. Clasp above the right arm with the left hand. Take the right hand to the left elbow. Draw the shoulders down the back ribs here. Broaden the collarbones. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, come forward. Breathe into the hamstrings. Breathe into the inner groins. Inhale and rise. Back is flat. Belly button to the spine. Heel, toe it in. Very proud of you guys. Cleansing breath. Inhale. Exhale. Love it. Coming to the edge of the mat, we're going to add on to this. Starting in Tadasana. Awaken those arches. Inhale, draw those arms up. And this is where sometimes I keep my head in line with the arms and I do a little bit of a back bend. Open my chest, open my heart. Exhale, swan dive down. We're going to really add on here. Inhale, halfway lift. And we're going to exhale. We're going to come into this little forward fold here. We're going to frame the feet. We're going to step back into our plank, okay? Into the plank. For some of us, we do partial chaturanga. For some of us, we bend those elbows, chaturanga. Into up dog. We call this the Vinyasa. Exhale, down dog. Lifting that left leg to hip level, kind of rotating that left hip inward. On the exhale, draw the left knee towards the chest, towards the nose. Place the left foot next to the left hand. Inhale, crescent moon. Ashtha Chandrasana. Adding eagle arms here. We're going to take the right arm under the left. Beautiful. And we're going to try to draw those elbows in line with the shoulders and then draw those palms forward, creating space between the shoulders. Shoulder therapy here. Garudasana arms. Draw those palms forward. Countering the pose. Cactus arms. Open the chest. Draw the shoulder blades towards one another. Tilt those elbows up. Shoulder blades towards one another. Garudasana arms. So we're doing two opposite things here. Drawing the shoulder blades away. Pulling those palms forward. Elbows in line with the shoulders. Transition, cactus arms. Shoulder blades towards one another. Open the chest. Tilt those elbows up. Eagle arms. Palms forward. Shoulder blades move away. Cactus arms again. Shoulder blades towards one another. Open the chest. Eagle arms. Coming forward a little bit, so we come forward, we kind of come forward. We draw that right knee here to hip level. And we're trying to come into Garudasana. So we wrap that right leg around the left. And now we draw the palms forward, eagle pose. Sink lower. Gently release, unbind. Preparing for warrior three. Some of you can keep the toes down if that's easier. Palms are going to face the ground, and we're really working on the chest here. Lifting the chest. We're going to keep the legs hip level. The right leg rotates inward. We try to connect to the back leg, but again, shoulder blades towards one another. We lift the chest. Come into, my leg was shaking there, I was working here. Virabhadrasana 1, warrior 1. Back foot 45 to 60 degrees. Knee over the kind of mid toes here. Ankle over the knee. And this time in warrior 1, create length here. We draw the hands towards one another. We draw the shoulder blades towards one another here. So I'm opening my chest. Inhale, lengthen. Drawing the shoulder blades towards one another. Exhale, humble warrior. This is where I draw my left shoulder, if I can, inside the left knee. I'm opening my hips. I'm opening my shoulders. Gently release, frame the foot. Step back into plank. If you have a vinyasa in your practice, up dog, open the chest, open the heart, pelvis forward. Exhale, down dog. We're going to draw that right leg up. One-legged down dog. On the exhale, bring the right knee to the chest, to the nose. Crescent moon. Draw those arms up. Connect to the front and back leg. Eagle arms. Left arm under the right arm. Try to draw those palms together. Elbows in line with the shoulders. Shoulders move away. Shoulder blades move away from another. Palms forward. Counter this pose. Unbind. Open the chest. Open the heart. Elbows towards one another. Elbows tilted up. Shoulder blades towards one another. Eagle arms. Left arm under the right. Draw those palms forward. Cactus arms. Shoulder blades towards one another. Eagle arms. Shoulder blades move away. Cactus arms. Shoulder blades move towards one another. Eagle arms. Shoulder blades move away. Transition. Let's bend that right leg. Oops. On the wall here. Good. Trying to keep that left leg to hip level. Transition as we come into beautiful Garudasana. Hips come towards one another. Internal rotation of the arms, of the legs. Balance. Gently unbind. Connect here as we prepare for Warrior 3. That's okay to kind of rest that back foot. Turn the palms towards the ground. Lift the chest. Back leg hip level. Connect to that back leg. Lift the chest. Square those hips. Internally rotate that back leg. Transition, take it back. Warrior 1. Back foot 45 to 60 degrees. Draw those arms up. Draw that left hip forward, right hip back. Interlace those fingers. Open the chest. Draw the shoulder blades towards one another. Transitioning to humble warrior. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, come forward. Rest the right shoulder inside that right knee. Frame the foot. Step back into plank. Whatever your flow is. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Lift that left leg to hip level. Exhale. Knee to the chest, to the nose. Left foot next to the left hand. In a runner's pose, we're lowering the right knee now to the ground. Beautiful low lunge. Create length in the spine. Press with both feet. Lengthen the spine. We're going to keep the right hand to the ground here. Kind of a lunge with a twist. And then we're going to clasp that back foot and draw the foot towards the buttocks, releasing the quadriceps. Gently release. Half split, Ardha Anamanasana. Send those hips back higher. Press through that left heel. Inhale, we create length in the spine. Exhale, we bring the sternum and chest parallel over the shin. Continue to press through that left heel, right where the hamstring originates, up high under that sitting bone. Awaken this area. We'll stay here several breaths. This is where some of you may use a block to help you as you transition into this pose. I kind of have it outside my knees here, and I'm allowing my left heel to slide forward, doing the best that I can wherever I am, listening to my body, challenging, not injuring it, challenging. I obviously have this pose on a Vinyasa, so I'm coming into this pose, but wherever we are, honoring where we are, left hip back, right hip forward. And I like to kind of come onto my fingertips here. Open my chest. Open my heart. I'm going to stay here a while. I have it in my practice where I'm going to clasp that back foot, draw my elbow up, and come into this Jana Mudra. Mindfully come on to the back midfoot and draw that left heel back. Transition to down dog. You lift that right leg to hip level. Draw that right knee to the chest, to the nose. Right foot next to the right hand, runner's pose. Lower the left knee to the ground. Come into low lunge. Create length in the spine. Left hand on the ground. Draw that back foot up. Heel towards the buttocks. Gently release. Frame the foot. Prepare for Ardha Uttanasana. So we send those hips back a little bit higher. We press through that right heel and we awaken those hamstrings. We inhale, we draw length. Exhale, we take the back is flat and we come forward and we continue. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, press into the ground. Awaken where those hamstrings originate. Up high under the sitting bone. Maybe we take the blocks, if this however this helps us, and we adjust, kind of outside my knees as I allow that right heel to come forward, and I find wherever I am challenging myself. I obviously have this in my practice, but I continue to draw my right hip back, left hip forward. And I like to come on to my fingertips here and almost open my chest, open my heart. Wherever we are, there's so many ways to explore this pose. Doing the best that we can. Knowing anatomically we're all different and some of these postures are going to be a challenge. I like to explore with that left foot, clasping the toes, tilting that left elbow up, coming into my Jana Mudra here with my thumb and index finger. Gently release. Coming into Anapanasana. Coming onto the ball of the back foot, drawing that right heel back. Come into down dog here, Adho Mukha. Draw length in the spine as we press through the palms. Heels melt towards the ground, firm those thighs. Transition to high plank. We'll just pause here briefly. Active legs and core. Belly button to the spine. Active shoulders. Gently lower to the stomachs. Preparing for cobra. We're going to have the hands an inch or two kind of below the bra strap. Right under those elbows. We're going to press through the tops of the feet. And at first the hands are not touching the ground. We're just leveraging the lifting of the chest. Then we press the hands onto the ground an inch or two below the bra strap. Inhale, lengthen. Follow that breath. Inhale, lengthen. Pubis bone to the ground. Press to the tops of the feet. Inner spiral the backs of the thighs. But the pubis bone onto the ground. Elbows close to the sides. Shoulder blades coming towards one another as we broaden the chest. Broaden the collarbones. Gently release. Rest the forehead to the ground. Several breaths. Letting the stress go. Coming into spinal extension. We'll do cobra one more time. So our feet are hip width apart. Our hands below the elbows, an inch or two below the bra strap. At first we press into the ground. We leverage the chest, strengthen the chest. And now we press into the ground. We follow the inhale. Shoulder blades towards one another. Pubis bone to the ground. Follow the breath into the extension. Pubis bone to the ground. Elbows close to the sides. Gently release. Rest the forehead to the ground. Draw that left knee in line with the left hip. Okay? Beautiful. And we're in a little half frog. So now we're going to do a little frog, half frog with a spinal twist. We're going to thread this right arm underneath here and rest the right shoulder to the ground as we rest the head kind of in line on the left elbow here. Releasing that right shoulder. And we're going to take the right hand now to the left knee, and we're drawing that left arm back, and we're trying to get the left shoulder to the ground as we're in this little spinal twist, and we're gazing over the left shoulder. So it's a relief of the upper and middle back, but also of the left shoulder as we try to get it towards the ground. Really breathe into that release of the upper and the middle back. Beautiful. Gently come out. Very proud of us and our practice today. We're going to draw now that right knee to hip level. So my knee in line with the hip, my foot directly under the knee here. We're going to rest here a few breaths, trying to get the pelvis towards the ground. Half frog. And we're going to thread now the left arm underneath. Rest the head in line kind of with this right elbow. So we're really releasing the left shoulder. Countering it a bit, we're going to take the left hand to the right knee, and we're going to take the back of the right arm towards the ground. And we're going to gaze over the right shoulder as we release the upper and middle part of our back. Stay here several breaths. Gently release. Beautiful. Preparing for our Shavasana here. I'm going to actually grab my sweatshirt here, but preparing for our Shavasana. I'd like you to maybe do one last stretch where you take those arms and legs, one last stretch, neutralizing the spine there. Beautiful. And then we're going to relax the palms, relax the feet, truly let everything go, almost kind of nestle the shoulder blades into the mat, truly let it go, surrender to Shavasana here. Let's take one last inhale, a big exhale through the mouth there, and just kind of, now the breath is just a natural breath, and they're just going to surrender to this pose, truly regeneration, building regeneration, the fruits of your labor. Detach yourself from your bones, your muscles, your worries, let go, melt into the ground. Little movements in your fingers and toes. Gently bend the knees. Right arm over the head. Come onto the right side. Use the left hand to press yourself up. Folding our hands, heart-centered. We did a lot today on shoulder flexibility, shoulder stability, activation of the shoulders is a well-rounded sequence. Amazing efforts. Hopefully you're able to kind of let some of that stress go, but yet take care of your body and move your body in a beautiful way. Namaste. And if you had an intention or you just feel better from today's practice, carry that with you when you leave the four corners of this mat. Yoga does not end here. It goes out into the world.